One day after former President Trump was found liable for fraud, his attorneys were back in a New York courtroom today.
It was the final conference before the start of his trial next week. Fox 5's Chris Welsh joining us now in studio. And Chris, since Trump was already found liable for fraud, what's going to happen at this trial?
Well, Steve and Teresa, the civil trial is basically going to determine how much money in penalties Trump will have to pay to the state. And it'll be a bench trial, which means that once again, there won't be a jury. The judge will decide. And that's exactly what the judge did yesterday. He decided that Donald Trump committed fraud, and because of that, he's ordering Trump's business licenses to be canceled.
And that means that Donald Trump, as of right now, is not in business in New York.
David K. Johnston teaches law at Syracuse University, and that is how he describes Tuesday's surprise decision from Judge Arthur Engoron. And here's Trump's former fixer and attorney Michael Cohen in an appearance on CNN.
Is Donald Trump still in business in the state of New York after this ruling?
The answer is no.
Judge Engoron ruled on the facts of the case from the bench, granting summary judgment to Attorney General Letitia James, who brought the civil lawsuit. The judge determined that Trump defrauded banks and insurers while building his real estate empire, and the judge also ordered some of the former president's businesses be removed from his control and sold. That could include his most iconic properties, Trump Tower and Mar-a-Lago.
It applies to all Trump entities. It says all certificates are canceled.
And Johnston says perhaps even more troubling for Trump.
Once you have been found to be a fraudster, banks are not allowed to do business with you. He can't borrow money. He can't do lots of other things. This is a very serious problem for Trump.
Which might explain the former president's taking to social media, calling it a scam to make sure he loses the election, and disputing the judge's valuation of his Florida resort and his net worth.
I'm sure he's going to appeal this immediately. And during the time that it's in appeals, he'll be able to conduct business as usual.
But New York-based business attorney Pierre DeBass says if a court of appeals rules and again finds he committed fraud,
then there's a good likelihood that he's not going to be able to conduct business moving forward.
So what happens next? A monitor will now be set up to oversee Trump's assets. After the bench trial is over, a judge will decide how much he owes the state. A receiver will then be appointed. Then the properties would be sold. And Johnston says the creditors and the state would be the ones that get paid first. Trump would be the last one to get paid any proceeds after a sale. That is, if there are proceeds left. Steve, back.
Very well. All right. Thanks, Chris.